Hey everyone, Jason here with an introductory video on the CTCG model and how its implementation is changing Infinity Wars Classic. The CTCG, or Complete Trading Card Game, is a digital interpretation of living card games, with more of a free-to-play / cosmetic monetization model and made for the video games market. Please note that while some of these systems are already implemented in some way in Infinity Wars Classic, some of the features that we talk about here are either still being worked on or are more so planned for a later date. So how it works is that every account created will have a complete set of every single card ever, both past and future. These are not technically owned cards and are more so a tool that players will have permanent access to, meaning that a brand new account will be on the exact same power level as someone who has played for years, removing all new player disadvantages and reducing the outcome of the game to primarily who the more skilled player and deck builder is. Of course, there's always an element of luck in there too, but at least now you won't be automatically losing every game to players who spend hundreds of dollars and thousands of hours grinding to get the best legendary cards and having your uncommon deck getting completely outclassed and stomped. The cards that you have access to in this way are what we'll be labeling internally as grayscale cards, due to their black and white treatment. These cards will only have still images rather than the animated cards our game is known for. They will appear in the deck builder, but because you don't technically own them, they won't be in your inventory. We still have the normal default cards from Infinity Wars, animated and fully coloured as they always were. These are the cards that you own and are located entirely on your account. They have no gameplay benefits over the grayscale versions, though they do look a lot nicer in general, and of course, you can use them as they were items in your inventory, meaning that depending on where they came from and their viability, they could be tradable and even usable in crafting and marketable once those features are explored much later down the line. Now let's talk about how you get these cards, including the newest feature, purchasing entire playsets of cards. You can buy a playset, that's 3 copies of every card in an entire set, for just 25 Australian dollars, which equals to be about 20 American dollars with the current translation and pricing. This is the most value possible, however it does come at a minor cost. When you buy a playset, every single card that you obtain from this method will be account lock, untradeable, unmarketable, and also uncraftable, so you can't craft it into anything bigger. It's important that we're giving players a cheap way to get a lot of value, but at the same time we're not flooding the marketplace or trading chats with extreme excess cards, especially the ones of higher rarities. Of course, you can always buy just normal packs of cards the same way as always, and we have multiple different options. When buying normal packs of cards with currency that you grind in-game, you'll have 2 options, the regular pack and the traders pack. These 2 packs are essentially the same, but there are 2 differences amongst them. The regular pack is completely untradeable and unmarketable, and its price is consistent and never changing. As for the Traders pack, its contents are completely unlocked, and its price is a little bit cheaper than the regular pack. However, each time you purchase a Traders pack, the price increases, and after just 1 packet the price is equal between the 2 packet types. This price will reset each week, so even free-to-play purists will be encouraged to engage in trading their cards. And of course, same as always, you can buy packs with real money, which will have increased odds of attaining cosmetically gifted cards and higher rarity cards. All of these systems will mean that there's a constant flow of cards being given to the players, and even if a player doesn't have a specific legendary card, they can still make a deck and play against their friends and the community with the grayscale versions their account has access to. One of the other things we can quickly mention about the grayscale cards is that there's a feature in Infinity Wars Classic they won't be able to use, which is the renaming and reskinning of any card and artwork in the game. At a later point, for renaming and reskinning, you will need to own at least 1 copy of a card, and any renames or reskins will not be appearing on the grayscale versions of cards in-game for you. So if you wanted to go above and beyond with customizing your play experience, you will need to trade and unlock the appropriate cards as per normal. Let's touch on cosmetic types of cards. In Infinity Wars Classic, cards could be foiled, and they could also have a border effect, being either gold, platinum, or infinity. All of these will be making a return to Infinity Wars Classic, and we're also introducing a new cosmetic type, stamped. Stamped cards are given away for specific unique reasons and events. The actual stamp on these cards will also differ depending on the reason and the event where it was given out. For example, users on our Patreon campaign are getting stamped versions of cards that contain a little mini Lightmare Studios logo. However, the competitive tournament stamp may look more like a trophy, or just the word winner. These cards will be the most scarce, as many of them will end up discontinued shortly after their initial launch. For example, a stamped Aether Acolyte was only available on Patreon for the month of January 2021, meaning that at most, there would be 120 or so tradable versions of this card, with another 120 being untradeable and locked to the accounts of those who obtained them, as each Patreon pack contains one tradable and one untradeable copy of the card that was given out. If we have a competitive event where the stamped card is only given to every player in the top 8, with 4 being given to first place, there would be a total of 13 cards ever to exist essentially. This scarcity will give hardcore collectors something to strive for, but will also give players a reason to play competitively or play in community events where these cards are given out. Before we end the video, let's talk about one last feature which we'll be releasing alongside the CTCG model very much down the line, and that's crafting. Please note that this feature has only been outlined and planned for, and we haven't started physically making it yet, and it's expected to arrive in the early to mid beta, sometime around when trading is released. Our new reward system, as well as the price of card packs with grindable currency, will hopefully give players a pretty consistent stream of new cards. To keep players' collections constantly evolving and improving, we're introducing crafting as a way to help give a consistent card sync to the card economy, as well as make collecting for fully free-to-play players easier. Something to note here at the very start is that all cards that players craft will be completely untradeable and unmarketable, so anything that you make, that's yours forever. Of course, unless you want to, turn it into something else with a crafting system as well, which would also be yours forever. Currently, there are only 3 crafting recipes we have confirmed, and those are the following. 3 copies of the same card will turn into a random copy of a card 1 rarity level higher. So 3 uncommons become a rare, 3 epics become a legendary, and so on. 5 copies of the exact same card can be turned into a specific copy of a card 1 rarity level higher from the exact same set. So 5 rare infestation cards can be turned into any epic infestation card, for example. And finally, 10 copies of any specific card can be turned into a purified version of that card. This is a special cosmetic option that we're currently developing, and it's a great way for collectors to show off their bulk cards and prestige. Now there's one other feature that we have confirmed as possible, however we don't want to start working towards it until we've had more feedback from the players on if it's something that they want to actually see. And that is the card combiner. Using the crafting system, you can combine any of your current cards with their cosmetic types, and it would merge those cosmetic types into a single one. So for example, if you have a gold card, a foil card, and a stamped card that are all the exact same card, you could combine all 3 to make a gold foil stamped card. A plat stamped card, an infinity foil card, a gold stamped foil corset card, an alt art stamped card, all of these now become potentially viable and possible. This would make the rarity system a bit more complicated in terms of the potential things you could end up seeing getting crafted together. However, because everything is locked to your account, it won't really affect the trading or secondary markets more than a general collector or trader would. As you might see someone selling platinum cards or foil cards, and someone else buying them, but you'd never see someone selling any of these custom-made cards. There is a potential negative here with this feature, which is why we're so wary on it currently, being that some cards had a very specific and finite number that existed, and if the ability to create more of them came into play, it could potentially devalue the original rare cards. However, as mentioned above, the cards players would be crafting would be stuck on their accounts, so there would be a certain number of tradable versions of them to ever exist in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. These are the systems that we're currently working on and creating here, and while some things may change before the game's beta or even full release, a fair few of these systems already have working parts within the game in its current state. If you have any questions about the CTCG model, your collections, or anything else, feel free to leave a comment or jump into Discord. We're much more responsive over there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the battlefield, Riff Runner.